Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of HFS Unfiltered. I'm Ashwin. I lead our technology services analyst and advisory practice here. So, recently we had launched a very interesting Horizon report on the next generation infrastructure services theme, which is a pretty hot topic now with everything that's happening with AI. And in that analysis, LTM has been positioned as a Horizon 3 provider. And to talk about it a bit more, I have with me my good friend Pandi, who's the EVP for cloud AI platforms and infrastructure services at LTM. Pandi, congratulations, and I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin, and HFS for hosting me today.
So Pandi, excited to have you here. I just wanted to talk about a few themes which we also picked up on this report, right? So, firstly, when we think of infrastructure services, it's becoming the control plane for enterprise AI, right? So there's a whole lot happening in terms of cloud and core and edge, but really when we speak to enterprises, it's coming down to how everyone can drive confidence in workloads from an AI perspective, be it cost or trust or performance. So what are you picking up, Pandi, in your conversations, and then how are you seeing enterprise expectations evolving from an infra standpoint?
Yes, we are starting with a great question. If you look at over the last decade, infrastructure has evolved from just hosting workloads to becoming a control plane for the enterprises. In the digital transformation world itself, this switch has happened to a level of infrastructure becoming the control plane. They started managing the workloads to orchestrating the workload between hybrid and multi-cloud environment, right? And we have seen most of the workloads are transactional till recent time. But with AI, the workloads scale and complexity have changed dramatically, right? Today, it's not about just CPUs. The enterprises are managing cloud-based AI services, AI accelerators, and edge systems that are coming and adding more complexity. And the same time, this all has to work in a coherent way that is causing more challenges to the enterprises, and that makes more challenges to the infrastructure as a control plane to work very in a different way. And then you have another complexity adding into this, which is sovereignty. Today, most of the countries are looking for data sovereignty that leads to infrastructure sovereignty as well, right? So, in the past, if you look at again, the infrastructure mainly decided where workloads should run. But now, with AI, it must also decide what kind of compute is required and how to place it and orchestrate it. That's a fundamental shift, right? Because of this, the enterprises are expecting and evolving into four key ways. One is the infrastructure must become AI aware, as training and inference behave very differently. It must be more dynamic, placing workloads across cloud, data center, or edge. Security and governance become even more critical, especially with AI agents. And finally, the cost management is very key. Your tokenization and the cost of GPU infrastructure, all of them adding more complexity into when AI at scale, and where these four elements are becoming little bit more intricate for all the enterprises. Now the real question is no longer can my infrastructure run AI, but the real question is, can my infrastructure help me scale AI safely, efficiently, and intelligently? At LTM, we see this as a move to AI optimized infrastructure built for scale, speed, and trust. It is not just about adding GPUs, it's about building a smarter, more intelligent foundation that keeps enterprises in control as AI scales. And that's a real shift, right? In the AI era, infrastructure is no longer just an enabler. It becomes an intelligent control plane that will define who leads and who falls behind.
Well put, Pandi. And in fact, as part of our analysis, we saw the new positioning that LTM has taken around this portfolio, which is cognitive infrastructure services, right? Uh, and we understand that the BlueVerse platform is right in center of all of this. So, can you highlight one or two key ways in which LTM is evolving its capabilities and platforms to address these enterprise expectations?
Sure, Aswit. See, in the AI world again, the winners in AI will not just build better models. they will build smarter infrastructure to run those models in the AI infrastructure. At LTM, our shift to cognitive infrastructure services built on this idea, moving from traditional services to a platform-led agentic AI operating model. So it's not just a name change. It's fundamentally you change the way you look at it, change your operating model itself. We are strengthening our control plane capabilities across the life cycle, from design to run, right? Including AI infrastructure right sizing, right placement of workload through AI orchestration, AI FinOps, and AI security. At the same time, we also look at the sovereignty, aspect of it when we are placing the right workloads in the right, positioning, right? At this, we help clients to modernize the transaction workloads as well, because it is going to be a heterogeneous. I would not use the word hybrid. It would be a heterogeneous workloads between CPU, CPU and GPUs that sitting in the same infrastructure landscape. So your current workloads that has to be modernized so that they run efficiently in the heterogeneous world. So a lot of focus goes on looking at the current transactional workload and modernizing that as well. That's the reason we thought, okay, we have to make both existing legacy workloads or the CPU workloads, transactional workloads, and the GPU workloads needs to be managed very effectively, and the cognitive function has to come into the data centers. When it comes to operations, right, we have been talking about automation so far. And in the new world, AI native operations are not achieved by simply adding automation or layering an AI on the existing process. This again, if you do that way, this again will create, pockets of productivity, not a holistic productivity, and it doesn't transform the operations in a true way. So the real shift is to rethink the entire operating model: people, process, platforms, knowledge, context, and governance with AI at the core. So this is a place our BlueVerse and IRUN comes into the picture. The IRUN, the concept or the solution that we have created now, it unifies infrastructure, models, platform, and application operation into a single AI native framework, enabling a move from reactive to predictive and increasingly autonomous operations, right? This is powered by our BlueVerse, platform. The the entire automation and AI infusion come from our BlueVerse platform that I will explain as we go along. Now, what we do is we build the enterprise context through knowledge graphs that connect system dependencies and business priorities. So the knowledge fabric comes and play a very crucial role, and that comes from our BlueVerse platform. Now we also reimagining the workflows, processes are good, making them reusable, measurable, and continuously improving, creating a full stack observability. That's very crucial. In the AI world, you need to have a complete observability of your infrastructure, application, cloud, and business services. And this full stack observability again is not built on a traditional way. It is built on AI, and that comes from again our BlueVerse platform. Finally, evolving the role of engineers. Now we have been developing skills that are in a siloed, or probably couple of cross skilling, etc. But when you come to an AI-based operations powered by the complete full stack observability, the engineers has to look at differently the ways to handle the issues. So from executing tasks to supervising and governing AI agents is what their role will be. So we are embarking on a huge talent transformation as well. So we are also building run specific small language models grounded in enterprise context. So behind all these things, the BlueVerse, that is our human plus AI collaborative platforms that orchestrate agents, workflows, governance, and human oversight is coming into the picture. So for us, cognitive infrastructure services is not just the next version of infrastructure, it's a fundamental shift to an AI native operating model.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly the operative word here, Pandi. The post AI implementation operating model, and you touched about various themes. So, for our audience and folks listening in, can you bring this to life by probably sharing one recent client example where you've taken through this journey and what value they were able to, observe and manifest?
Sure. First, it's important that we recognize that our clients, most of the clients, are at very different stages of AI adoption life cycle, ranging from early experiment to scaling and increasingly moving towards AI native operation, right? So there are various stages, they all in different stages of adoption. We work with our clients in this various stages. What I will do is I will bring two live examples where we help our clients in out creating the value. I'm sure you have recently heard our landmark engagement with that we announced in the market. That is for the Central Board of Taxes in India to modernize India's tax analytics platform under Insight 2.0. This complete solution is powered by our BlueVerse for infrastructure. What we are doing is we are building a secure, intelligent AI backbone, enabling a smarter citizen services, automated operations, and AI-driven decisioning. What is important is how we did it. Instead of overbuilding the expensive GPU infrastructure, we applied our metal to intelligent framework to dynamically optimize the workload, delivering the same performance with 37% lower GPU footprint, right? If I look at another example on reimagining the operations, for one of our long-standing travel client, we introduce our IRUN agentic AI model by bringing all the melt data together, putting it in our knowledge fabric, and then creating a super agent that helps you to run operations in a very efficient way. That's our IRUN super agent. That started yielding results by bringing down the operational cost by 35%. And what uh, what it has helped us is to expand our engagement with the client and doubling the revenue. While we saved cost efficiency, it has helped us to expand in doubling the revenue. That's the way we are seeing in the market today. So iron optimization is not just about optimization, it also give us a lot of opportunity to improving our uh, uh, revenue landscape itself with various customers. Across these journeys, if you look at, there are few themes are very consistent. Platform-led AI with BlueVerse to industrialize the deployment, agentic AI operation through iron, and our BlueVerse knowledge fabric that connect data, telemetry, and workflows. This is what enabled enterprises to move from reactive operations to intelligent real-time decision making and truly out-creating value at scale for us.
Yep. This is very exciting, Pandi. Thank you for sharing this. We've been impressed by LTM's story in this particular space and we'll continue to track how it evolves. But thank you so much for taking out time and sharing these insights and we wish you all the very best. Thanks.
Thank you, Ashwin. It's a great opportunity for us to explain what we are doing with BlueVerse and Iron. Thanks for hosting us. Thank you.